Hello friends, welcome again to the tetrahedron chemistry classes. So guys, in today's class I am going to discuss another very important reagent for your IIT JAM examination. However, the reaction or the rearrangement is equally important for your other competitive examinations also, like CSIR, NET and GATE. Okay. So if you remember, in my last lecture I have completed the Hofmann bromide reaction, or you can say the Hofmann rearrangement or Hofmann bromamide reactions, and after that I have completed the Curtius rearrangement. Okay, these two reactions or rearrangements are there in your IIT JAM syllabus. Okay, and today I am going to discuss this Lawson rearrangement. So today, before going into the details of the Lawson rearrangement, let us see what had happened in case of your Hofmann rearrangement as well as in case your Curtius rearrangement. Okay, so if I go back, if you have seen my lecture properly, right? So this was the case. Okay, in case of your, sorry, I have to go back. So this was your Curtius rearrangement, and in Curtius rearrangement you have seen we have the acyl azides. Basically we have the azides, and these azides under photochemical conditions or under your thermal condition or photochemical condition, they convert into the alkyl isocyanates, and these alkyl isocyanates actually can give the variety of the reaction just you did in case of the Hofmann bromide reaction to get the different kinds of the substituted product. Okay, and in the Curtius reaction generally we use the aprotic solvents, and examples of aprotic solvents, like you see benzene we can use, chloroform we can use, and ethyl diethyl ether we can use. And these were the reaction. You can produce your amine, you can produce your cyclic amine for using this reaction. Okay, so this was just an idea. So basically you have started with this azide and end up with the alkyl isocyanate. This was your Curtius rearrangement. Okay, and now if you go back further, here this was your Hofmann's rearrangement. In Hofmann's rearrangement what we did, we use amides actually, and these amides when we treated with their halogens, like especially chlorine and the bromine, in presence of the aqueous alkali like your potassium or the sodium hydroxide, so you end up with the alkali amine, so your primary amine. Okay, but not only the primary amine you can synthesize the variety of the other reactions also, and I have discussed all these things, right? So I'm not going into the details again and again. So in short, but what we did in case of your Hofmann and the Curtius reaction, we have converted our azides into the isocyanate in case of the Curtius rearrangement, and your amides into isocyanate in case of your Hofmann bromide reaction. So today we will do the same thing. We will convert certain thing into our isocyanate, and that isocyanate that will give you the amine. So basically this Lawson rearrangement is the formation of the 1-degree amine, or say imine, right, if you have the cyclic compound. Okay, so what are the important features associated with this Lawson rearrangement? You can see here. Say guys, you can have your, say, orthoacyl, or you can say your, not ortho, sorry, oxygen, O-acyl, or your O-sulfonyl, or you can say O-phosphoryl. Derivative of hydroxamic acid, Okay, so these were the substrate, and these substrates actually when you treated with the base, so I can write base here along with the, say, in aqueous condition, H2O I am taking here. Say sometimes thermal reaction can also happen, but the most general pattern for the Lawson rearrangement is using the aqueous alkali, right? And then you will convert this into isocyanate. Okay, since these isocyanates are not stable under this aqueous alkali condition, so they quickly actually give you, after decarboxylation, your 1-degree amine. Okay, so these stage actually, right, from these derivatives to the formation of this isocyanate. Okay, this is actually your Lawson rearrangement. So if someone asks what is the Lawson rearrangement, you simply say the hydroxamic acid derivatives, you say, or you can say the O-acyl or O-sulfonyl or O-phosphoryl derivatives of the hydroxamic acid undergoes the rearrangement to form the isocyanates. Okay, either on the treatment with the aqueous alkali or sometimes with the thermally also. This is called the Lawson rearrangement. Okay, so basically what will have, you will have in the hydroxamic acid at oxygen, actually you have this acyl, or at this oxygen connected with the sulfonyl, or this oxygen connected with the phosphoryl derivative. Okay, so this is the general reaction. So this is something very, very important. Okay, so what could be the reaction and how we can go for these ones. So I'm giving you the one example for this one. Say you are having this group. I'm taking this R here, and this R is connected with this oxygen, and this is your NH, and then you are having this oxygen, and then you are having this moiety, that is R dash. So R, here I have taken R, here I have taken the R dash. That means these two groups may be different or they may be same. So this would be the derivative. This is actually your O-acyl derivative, right? This is O-acyl derivative of hydroxamic acid. Okay, so if you want to know what is hydroxamic acid, see hydroxamic acid is nothing but, you can write in that manner. Say general formula for hydroxamic acid, I can write R C double bond O NH OH. So this is your hydroxamic acid. Hydroxamic acid, I can write in that manner. Okay, so when you substitute this hydrogen with acyl, or say with your phosphoryl or your sulfonyl groups, then this would become the substrate for your Lawson rearrangement. Here I have substituted that hydrogen, right, with this group. Okay, and what you can do after that, if you treat this with aqueous alkali, so I can write it here, base and water. Okay, so you end up with the amine, that is RNH2. Okay, and plus you will have this derivative R dash CO negative as eliminator. Okay, so this is how actually you can write the reaction in that case. Okay, so what you will form in that case, you will form the primary amine. As I already told you, first of all you will result this substrate, into isocyanate, but these isocyanates are not very stable actually under these conditions. So they actually quickly loses this carbon dioxide to form their primary amine. However, before this you may have your water and alkali, lots of things. We will discuss all this in the mechanism. So this is the general way, and some very important feature which you should know. See guys, this R which is attached with this carbonyl group on the left hand side. Okay, so this R actually, it may be the aryl group or it may be the alkyl group. Generally say this group actually should have the electron donating group. Okay, say for example, if you take this R as the aryl, okay, and if this is having this NO2, so I can write NO2 here, right? So this thing can connected with this carbonyl, so this would be the very good substrate. So please remember this particular point. Whenever this R which is on the left hand side of your hydroxamic acid derivative, if it is having the electron donating group, so it will be easy for this group to take it would be very easy for this R group to take up these electrons and migrate from here to here. So it is important that if you have this electron donating ability on this group, then your reaction rate would be faster. Please remember this particular point. And one more thing, that part which is present on the right hand side, this will eliminate as a leaving group here. This carboxylate actually is a very good leaving group. That's why I have taken this. Okay, so what you can do, you can simply mark this as the leaving group. Okay, well, you cannot start your reaction with the hydroxamic acid. Why? Because in the hydroxamic acid you are having this OH negative, and this is not a very good leaving group. It's a very bad leaving group. So this reaction generally don't go with the hydroxamic acid. You have to convert this actually hydroxamic acid into the ortho OSL, O phosphoryl, or the O sulfonyl derivative. This is the important key feature we should know, right? So because just the people may ask you that in certain interview that if you are going for this Lawson rearrangement, why we are not starting this reaction with the hydroxamic acid itself, then you will say that this OH negative is not a very good leaving group. We have to convert this OH into a very good leaving group. That's why we need the SL or phosphoryl or the sulfonyl group. Okay, and why it is important that this group must have, or say should have, your electron donating property, because it has to go from, it has to migrate from here to form the isocyanates with this electron pair actually. So its electron donating property to this nitrogen would be very good. Okay, see, must be very good. So that's why it is essential to have the electron donating group from here. Okay, these are the general features which you know actually, right? And one more thing I should mention here, this hydroxamic acid is not very readily available in the market. Okay, and it's a very costly reagent. Okay, so this Lawson rearrangement has limited applications in the peptide chemistry. If you go for the peptide synthesis, then in the peptide synthesis this Lawson rearrangement finds some important applications, but other than in peptide chemistry it is difficult to find the applications of this Lawson rearrangement, as this hydroxamic acid is not very readily available in the market and it is costly also. So these are the certain features which you should know. Now we will quickly go for the reaction mechanism, how it goes. Say for example, say I'm writing here, this is R C double bond O, two lone pairs. See guys, it is very important whenever you are actually drawing the reaction mechanism. So it is very important to put the lone pairs, charges, all these things very properly on your actually corresponding atoms, right? This actually gives you the better understanding of the reaction mechanism. Okay, that's why I have put it all the lone pairs over there. So this could be R dash. Okay, and you know what is your reagent? You are taking your base, hydroxide. So that base can abstract proton from here, and the bond which is present here, that will go to the nitrogen itself. Okay, so when it go to the nitrogen itself, what it can give you? It can give you this species, that is R C double bond O with two lone pairs. Okay, this is N, and one electron pair another with negative sign, so it's a nitrine kind of thing. Then your this part, which is this. Okay, so this is the first step of the reaction. I hope there is no problem in that. Okay, and now the very important feature you should know actually, this Lawson rearrangement is also a concerted step. It's a concerted reaction. Okay, so what is the meaning of the concerted reaction? Concerted reaction means the bond breaking and the bond formation. That means all the rearrangement will take in the one step actually. Okay, so you will not find any reactive intermediate in that case again. Okay, but you will find a transition state, and since it is a concerted step, and remember when since it is the concerted reaction or concerted rearrangement, this Lawson step, so whatever the stereochemistry is associated with this migrating group, this would be retained. Okay, retention of configuration, like your Curtius rearrangement and your Hoffman rearrangement we have seen, right? That thing will also happen here. We'll see later on with the help of the example also. Okay, so how we can show you this kind of the rearrangement? Say now, see, this step is actually your Lawson rearrangement. So what will happen in the Lawson rearrangement? That R with the electron pair will move to this nitrogen, and this will come here, and that part will leave from here as the leaving group. Okay, so what you can write in that case? So this is actually, I can write Lawson rearrangement. Lawson rearrangement. Okay, I can write in that manner. So in that case you will have R dash COO negative now, because you see because this electron pair has shifted here, so this part will remove as this one, this as right? And then you will have your remaining part, which is nothing but your R now connected with the nitrogen connected with the double bond carbon and double bond oxygen. This is your isocyanate. So I'm not writing the isocyanate because I need some space for the further reaction rearrangement. Okay, so how this had happened actually, this has moved from here to here along with the electron pair. So now this R is connected with the nitrogen. This I have shown you here. This electron pair has moved here, so that means this nitrogen double bond and this particular carbon which I have written here, and this carbon double bond oxygen which is here actually. Okay, so this is the way you can form the isocyanate. But the important feature you should know actually, since I have already mentioned it's a concerted step, so there must be the some transition state in that case. So I can write, see this step which is going on in that manner, so I can write this in that way also. So this was your R, okay, and then this bond actually will break, nothing will happen to this, and this bond again will form with the nitrogen, okay, and this bond was already there, and you see nitrogen will start forming a bond with this one, okay, and then you can see this will break from here, that is O CO R dash. So basically it is the transition state. Okay, so bond making and the bond formation actually all is happening in one way in that case. You see this has moved with the electron pair from here to here, so I have shown with this dash bond, that means the bond is starting to break and it is forming the bond with this nitrogen, that means bond is forming. So I have shown you again with the dashed bond, because it this R has started to form a bond with this nitrogen, and again this electron pair is shifting, it is getting doubly bonded, so again this one, and this has removed from here, so again I have shown you with the dash bond. So dash bond shows the see breaking and the formation bond is actually taking place simultaneously, not necessarily with synchronously, but of course simultaneously, right? This is isocyanate. So this is up to this particular point, this is your Lawson rearrangement. Okay, so this is all about your Lawson rearrangement. But you know, in the aqueous alkali solution, this substrate actually is not a very stable, this isocyanate is not a very stable species. So what can happen in that case? From here actually it's a very simple task. You have done this thing quite a number of time in case of the Hofmann rearrangement as well as in case of your Curtius rearrangement. So this along with this electron pair, this will attack here, this will come here. Okay, so then you will have your another species, and that species you can write in that manner: R double bond nitrogen, sorry, not double, it is single. Okay, it is single nitrogen, and that this is double bond carbon, single bond oxygen. Now 1 2 3 4 5 6 negative there, and this is oxygen. Okay, this is hydrogen. So guys, from here I'll show you the number of steps to complete this reaction, but this is only for your information. You can do in a very short manner also. Okay, there is no difference if you do in that manner which I am going to explain, or if you do by your own. Actually there is not much difference in between that. So what will happen in that case? You have formed this particular species. This is important. Now in the next step, you know, you have used this basic medium. So what will happen? This OH negative will grab this hydrogen from here and pushing back this bond pair to the oxygen atom. Okay, and then you are having this particular species. So you can write minus H2O here, there is no problem in that. And then you are having R single bond nitrogen, double bond carbon, single bond oxygen with negative, and this is your OH negative. Okay, this is the way you can write actually. Okay, there is no problem in that. And again in the next step, what can happen actually? You have removed this water molecule from here. So what you can do in the next step, you can write HOH, simply H positive and OH negative. So what can happen in that case? You see this electron pair, this will come back here, and this will go to the nitrogen. Okay, and that nitrogen, the electron pair which will come here, that will grow proton that will grab proton from here. So you will have your next species which looks like R NH C double bond O and OH. There is no problem in that. Okay, so this is the acid part actually, but again you can go in that manner. You have taken alkali in that case, OH negative. So OH negative can grab this hydrogen from here, okay, and pushing this as here, okay, and this electron pair will go onto the nitrogen atom, and then your species that you will have R NH with 2 lone pairs, okay, right, and along with minus CO2 and minus H2O. This step you see important. This OH negative when grab hydrogen from here, that will give you water molecule, and when you push these electron from here to here, so nitrogen will have the 2 lone pairs, and this species will remove from here. See, this has doubly bonded, this will remove as the carbon dioxide, so this is CO2. Now you left with this RNH, right? So this is all about the reaction. And finally in the last step, what you can do, again you have taken your water HOH, that is OH negative H positive, okay, that means this electron pair will grab hydrogen from here, releasing your this catalyst, that is OH negative, and then you will have your final product, that would be RNH2. This is your primary amine. So this is the way in which you can explain your Lawson rearrangement. Okay, this is something very, very important. Okay, so I hope you like the mechanism, but it is not enough to show you this general mechanism. So I can give you a very important example. Say for example, what we can see in that case, say you may have say that R group which is associated with a carbonyl group, that R, say if it is having this in this manner, right, electron donating group, it is, if it is having in that manner, and you are having say this group which is electron withdrawing group, say these two are attached. So what would you expect actually for the rate of the reaction? Of course, in case of electron donating R, that actually rate of reaction in that case would be higher in that case. So can we have some example? So I have actually made a reaction theoretically by myself. I don't know whether it is possible in the lab or not, but I have for the better understanding, I have actually designed that particular reaction. Okay, if it is not there in the literature, then you can try the synthesis of this also, right, by your own, for your thesis or the dissertation work, right, if it is not there, but I am not sure whether it is there or not. Say you have been given this species, so right, I can write in that manner, and here you are having the NO2 group, okay, and then you are having this carboxylic acid. Say you have been given this, and you have been given number of steps, right? If you say you have been given this sulfonyl chloride SO2, and after that you have been given hydroxylamine, that is NH2OH, okay, and after NH2OH you have been given, say third is your C2H5 C OBr. Say you have been given these things actually. So what product would you expect actually? So there is a simple trick actually. See, this condition is see, this base is there, acid is there. So if you see this reaction, you will not have any idea actually what is going to happen. But you may think in that manner, okay, NH2 is given here, so definitely this COH would be replaced by this NH2, and you will end up with the amine. So what you can do, you can write your product as such, right, NO2. I can write here, and this is your NH2. So this is the product in that case. But how actually this reaction has happened? So very quickly I will show you the few steps, and then you will do Lawson rearrangement by your own. First reaction, you have given this this SOCl2, right? So in case of the SOCl2, what you will do in that case, right? See, you know, when you will take this sulfonyl chloride and it will react with the acid, so it will produce your acetyl chloride. Okay, so in that case you will have this, just like that, C double bond O and Cl, and here your NO2 group. So this group you are having actually. Okay, and you know, HCl will remove from here along with the SO2. It's a very general reaction. You have studied this reaction a number of time in your +2 chemistry actually. Okay, and after that what they have given to you, they have given to you NH2OH. So you can write NH2OH from here. Say this is NH, this is NH2 and this is OH. So this is the another way of writing NH2OH. So what can happen in that case? This chlorine along with this hydrogen, this will give you the HCl. So the moment it will give you the HCl, then you will end up with this species. NO2 will remain as such here. Okay, and then you will have C double bond O, NH, OH. So this is your hydroxamic acid. Okay, there is no problem in that. But this hydroxamic acid cannot undergo your Lawson rearrangement, as I already told you, because this OH is not a very good leaving group. So you have to convert this into certain better leaving group. So you are in the third stage, you are having this. Okay, so what you can do here, I can write, so C2H5 COBr you have been given here. So simply you take this H from here, this Br from here, and remove minus this HBr from here. So once you remove this HBr from here, so you will have this species, which would look like just C double bond O, NH O, C double bond O, right? In that way you can write, and then you are having C2H5. So this is again, you see, the OSL derivative kind of thing. Okay, so now you can see here this is a very better leaving group. See, if you go back, right, if you see this part actually, right, RCOO negative, and here in that case again you are having RCOO negative. So this is a very good substrate to actually show you the Lawson rearrangement. So this will now very easily show the Lawson rearrangement, and how the Lawson rearrangement would occur in that case. It's quite easy now. So you have taken base OH negative. Okay, so this base actually, this is given here, but in the next step you can write, so you have been also given this sodium hydroxide, for example. Okay, so what it can do, it can grab this hydrogen from here, and once it's grabbed the hydrogen from here, so it will form this species, NO2. Okay, this is C double bond O, and then you are having nitrogen, and of course the two lone pair over there, and this is O, C double bond O, and then C2H5. Okay, up to this point you have done this. So now because I need some space, so I want to remove a few things from here, so I am deleting this part. I hope you noted down this thing. So in the next step, what can happen? The Lawson rearrangement. So here I can write my Lawson rearrangement. Lawson rearrangement. Okay, so this part along with the electron pair will move to this nitrogen, and this will come here to form the isocyanide, and this will remove as the leaving group. So leaving group is what? That is C2H5 COO negative, and then at the top you are having your this part. So I am writing now this in that manner. This is NO2, there is no problem in that. Now this phenyl, actually if you focus here, this has moved from here to here. Now this part, this benzene phenyl part actually will connect with this nitrogen with a single bond. So straightforward, what you can do, you can put nitrogen, and then double bond carbon, double bond oxygen. So this is your isocyanate which you have produced here actually, right? So after that, what you can do, I need some more space, so I am deleting this one. And then of course your water molecule you are having, that is H2O, and H2O now will connect to this one and this will come here, and then you will have your species. This is NO2, no problem in that. This is nitrogen, and you can write here this is double bond carbon, single bond oxygen with negative, and it is having OH2. Now if you understand this thing, now after that it is quite simple actually. So I am not actually repeating the whole steps, I am showing you in this in the simpler manner, okay, how we can show you the different steps. This can come here and this can come here, negatively charged species, okay, and one of the hydrogen will move from here to here, okay, and then you will have your this species, this part NO2 is here. Now this is your NH, no problem in that, and then you are having COOH, okay, and after that again I need some space, so I am deleting this one. And if you go further, so decarboxylation would occur, minus CO2, okay, and that hydrogen will shift from here to here, and you end up with the product. So this step I have done very quickly without showing the detail hydroxide attack and all these things, but you end up with this one, okay. So you may end up this for this this particular compound. So this is the way you can explain the Lawson rearrangement. But you you can see whenever you are going for your competitive examinations, especially for the CSIR NET and the GATE examination, as well as for the your IIT JAM examination, you will not find the such easy problems in that case, in those examinations, okay. So you have to look the actually reactions in the different manner also. So I can give you another example which you actually see very carefully, right? It is very important for you to understand all the things. For example, you have been given this, okay, this is your benzene part, and this has connected with the nitrogen here, and one nitrogen here, and this one, and here you are having the methyl, and it is connected with the oxygen, and for aromaticity this is given here, and then you have been given this carbon double bond oxygen, and then you have been given this is NHOH. So again you can see this is hydroxamic acid derivative, okay. So now say for example you have been given this now, so I am writing in this different manner, R dash C double bond O X. So what can happen in that case? It's simply, you see here, you can take this hydrogen from here and this X from here and remove your HX. And after the removing of the HX, you will have this species, this benzene part, this is nitrogen again, okay, and that part, right, that is Me. And be careful while drawing all these things. This has connected here actually, okay, and this is already having the oxygen, and then you are having what? This NH O C double bond O R dash. So this is the species you are having, okay. Now you can do your Lawson rearrangement. So for Lawson rearrangement I am writing LR. LR is my way of writing the Lawson rearrangement. So you know what can happen in the Lawson rearrangement? Nothing. this part, say I am showing you that part, this whole part will migrate from this carbonyl terminal to the nitrogen terminal here, and this will remove from here. So how you can show you this thing? Say this will migrate from here to, so not actually the direct migration would not occur in that case. So what I can do, I can delete this, because for this migration you should have certain thing. Okay, say for example, if you have taken OH negative from here, okay, so that OH negative will grab first this hydrogen from here and eliminating this H2O. Okay, so when you do this, you will have this thing actually here, and you see here this is connected with this one, now doubly bonded. Okay, this is species you will have, and after that I can remove this from here. Okay, in that manner, now you can do the Lawson rearrangement. Okay, so how the Lawson rearrangement would occur in that case, now I can show you that step. This will actually will go to this nitrogen, and this will come here, and this will release from here. Okay, so you will have what you will have in that case. So you can write in that manner. I am writing that species as such. Okay, just like that, and this is nitrogen, oxygen, this is nitrogen again, and again your methyl is there, and for aromaticity you have done in that you will put double bonds, and then see this single bond. Now you can see here that part would connect with the nitrogen. That means this thing is connected with the nitrogen now. So you can write nitrogen over there, double bond carbon, double bond oxygen. So this is the Lawson rearrangement, and you have formed this one, this thing actually, right? So this is quite an important thing, right? Now you can see here the important thing is that this oxygen is having two lone pairs over there. Okay, and this carbonyl carbon is basically because it is connected with this carbon, so it's a nucleophilic center, so it will love actually the nucleophile because it is electrophilic in nature, right? So I can write it as E positive. It is electrophilic. It is electrophilic, so it will always seek for the electrons. So how the electrons actually can go there? So I can show you this step very easily. See, these electron pair will come here, no problem in that, and this will come here, and that if when it becomes negatively charged, it will connect with this oxygen. So the moment it will connect with this oxygen, so what you will have actually, so you will have this species. So this is your benzene part, okay, and this is your nitrogen, this is again nitrogen, and this is having your methyl. There is no problem in that. Okay, and then you see here this has connected with this one, so double bond would lost from here. Now this would be double bond. Now double bond nitrogen, single bond carbon, and then single bond oxygen, and it was connected with this one, and double bond carbonyl. Okay, so again you can show you this step. When this has moved from here to here, so this would be double now, and this has moved from here to here, this would be single now, right? And this is connected with this oxygen, so this is connection with this one, and this nitrogen has already connected with this one, and this is your carbonyl moiety. So you end up with this particular species. Okay, and after that you can see you can go for your product also. Okay, and you can identify your product also. So this is your product actually. Okay, and don't forget to put actually this double bond here actually. So this is the reaction actually which actually you have to these types of the reaction you have to look for actually, right? So you will not always end up with the amines actually. You may have the different kinds of the substitution pattern also, depending upon what actually substrate you have been given. So I hope actually you understood the problem pretty well. So now after that you can see the variety of things are there in the reaction, but due to the limitation of the time I cannot discuss all the things actually, right? So that's why actually okay, see, it's 40 minutes only, so we can discuss one more problem. Okay, say next, for example, say you have been given this thing, right? This is the 6-membered ring and oxygen is connected here, and that part is actually your OGALA. So don't go for the detail of what is this actually, okay? And then you are having the OH. So these two are the alpha. Remember, alpha means that means below the plane. So this is below the plane, this is also below the plane. And at this position you are having the beta, that means above the plane. So this is beta, and then again you are having O GALA, and again it is beta. This is important, right? And then say you have been given this, which is connected with the carbonyl here, and after carbonyl you are having your NH, okay? And after NH, say you have been given this NET, okay? And this is NH, and then you have been given this nitrogen, this substrate you have been given, and you have to look for the product actually. Say you have been given your OH negative, aqueous alkali you have been given. So in that case you can see very easily this carbonyl, it is connected with this NH, okay? So this NH, this hydrogen is more acidic when compared to this one, okay? So what can happen, this OH negative can grab hydrogen from here, okay? Once it grab the hydrogen from here, so you can actually remove this hydrogen from here and you can put 2 bonds, okay? After that you can go for the Lawson rearrangement, LR I am writing. So how the Lawson rearrangement would occur actually, that whole part, this part will move to this nitrogen, and this will come here, and you see when this will come here, this will go in that manner, okay? So what you end up, see, this part actually is the leaving group, so don't worry about that. This has leaved from here, so if you want then you can write in that manner. This is negatively charged, double bond nitrogen ET, okay? And this is NH, this is nitrogen. So this have gone now, okay? Nothing to do with this one. So sometimes it happens that we see a giant molecule, a very big molecule, complex molecule, and we confused actually how to do the reaction. You should know the reagents actually. If you have the good knowledge of the reagent, then there is no problem in solving such kind of the problems, okay? So now if when the Lawson rearrangement has taken place already, so what you can do here, you can draw this again. So very quickly I am drawing for you. Oxygen is here, and this is O GALA, and this is OH, and this is OH, and this is the same substitution, O GALA, right? And now you are having this bond, and you know when this has migrated from here to here, so now that means this part, this phenyl part will connect with the nitrogen. So you can straightforward put nitrogen here, okay? And double bond carbon, double bond oxygen. So this is isocyanate, okay? So once you have this isocyanate, now it's quite easy actually. You add water to it, that is H2O. So this will go here, this will come here, okay? And then you will have this species again. So I can one more time I can show you. So this part actually I can write it as R part here, and that R connected with this OH, OH, single bond O negative. This R basically is this part. Okay, and when the reaction takes place, so you know this will come here and this will shift here and this will go there and this will connect from here to here, and then you end up with the product, and the product would look like what? That R along with the NH2, and that R is what? Actually is this species. So what you can write the product, you remove this all these things here, okay, and write NH2 here. So this is the product actually. So simply you are converting this into the amine actually. So this is how actually you can see the reactions actually. Okay, so this is something very very important, guys. So you should actually see, you should have this tendency actually to look the molecule and select that part which can react with the given reagent. Okay, only then you can actually succeed in your you will have the success in your organic chemistry part, otherwise it would be very very difficult for you. Okay, so I hope you like this lecture about Lawson rearrangement. Okay, if you understood the things well, please subscribe the tetrahedron chemistry classes and do share with your friends also. So these three reactions actually, right, Hofmann bromide, Cartius and your Lawson rearrangement are very important for your IIT JAM syllabus. In the next class I'll take another reaction, that is Schmidt reaction. However, that Schmidt reaction is not included in your IIT JAM, but it is important for your CSIR NET, GATE as well as for your Z examinations. Okay, so that's it for today, guys. Thank you very much.